Welcome to Out of the Blue, the podcast, where real people share extraordinary stories of resilience, transformation, and the power of connection. I'm your host, Vernon West, joined today by my daughter and co host, Jackie West, our social media and marketing manager, a talented singer songwriter, and Reiki healer. Today's conversation shines a light on a quiet heartbreak that far too many families experience: grandparent alienation. It's a form of emotional and generational loss that cuts deeply on both sides. Grandparents who long to hold a child they love, and grandchildren who grow up missing the warmth, wisdom, and unconditional love of those who came before them. Our guest today, Donna Skora, knows this pain personally. She and her husband have never been allowed to meet their 11-year-old grandson. He doesn't even know they exist. And sadly, they are not alone. Nearly 70 million Americans are estranged from family. It's a silent epidemic, one that affects hearts across generations. But out of that deep pain, Donna found purpose. She turned heartbreak into hope by founding Surrogate Grandparents USA, a beautiful organization that helps bridge the gap, connecting surrogate grandparents with children who need that special kind of love and guidance in their lives. Her advocacy has reached national attention, including a feature on CBS Mornings, and her message is one of healing, awareness, and reconnection. This episode is about love that endures, even through absence, and the hope that through understanding, fewer children will grow up without the love of a grandparent. Let's dive in. Good afternoon, Donna, and welcome to Out of the Blue, the podcast.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
We're so happy to have you, Donna.
Very happy to be here.
It's an incredibly serious and needed topic to cover and spread the word, really.
Yeah.
And so why don't we start where we usually start, which is at what was the Out of the Blue event that really kicked this off, really started the whole journey?
Well, to tell you the truth, it was a conglomeration of things. We became alienated the day that our grandson was born. We received a text saying that we've lost a son, a grandson, and a nephew, meaning that it meant his sister, being the aunt. And that was the last. The silence was deafening. There was no getting through to them, kept reaching out, kept apologizing. This happened because we couldn't make it to the baby's birth, 90 miles away. We were going to go the following week after they got home, but evidently it wasn't good enough.
That's really the resentment that started it. Incredible.
Well, I'm sure there was something even before that. His wife, my daughter-in-law, did the same thing to a previous son from a first marriage. He was alienated and estranged from his grandmother and his father's extended family for at least 10 years.
Wow.
So this is just what they do.
What do you think it is? I mean, when you say they do, what do you mean by that?
Well, I guess our son married a woman. That's our daughter-in-law. Usually it's the spouse that creates the problems with the adult children who are estranging themselves. Granted, there are times where they may have legitimate reasons, but for the most part, the spouses are in control, and they're doing it for control.
It's a control issue then, yeah.
It is a control issue, definitely. And they feel that they're very important. This is their way of having the attention they desire. I think there's also narcissism involved, maybe not with all of them, but it is a control issue, a narcissistic issue. They use the children as pawns and weapons against loved ones. They make demands. They want to get their way, and if the parents or the grandparents don't adhere to what they demand, they get shunned. They get shut out of their lives.
What good could possibly come from that? I mean, can't understand it.
There's no good. I belong to a couple of support groups, grandparent support groups. I reached out to a number of these people in a post saying, if there was one probable major thing that you would want to get across to the world about what you are all suffering, what might that be? And I got about 11 or 12 points. So I took these 11 or 12 points and turned them over to Chat GPT, and I said, what is the main reason or the main statement that you get out of all these? And it's amazing what it came back as. I'd love to read it if you'd let
Yeah.
me.
Oh, please do. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it very interesting.
Does it resonate with you?
Yes, it does. It says here, the most common and overreaching point made across all of the statements is family estrangement, especially when grandchildren are kept from grandparents, causes deep emotional pain, destroys family bonds, and harms not only adults, but also the children involved. And it lists a whole bunch of things, but it says, in essence, the biggest collective message is that estrangement is a form of invisible family trauma that causes lasting emotional damage to everyone involved, especially when love, connection, and truth are replaced by silence and alienation. These children, these grandchildren, are not learning how to get along with family, how to interact, how to have that ongoing connection. The parents feel that they're doing something right by just silencing. They don't want a relationship. I don't know if they can handle relationships. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
guess that's
because
it.
within relationships, you learn that when there's rupture, you can figure out how to repair.
You can work it out. You can try to
Work it out.
repair it. When they cut the grandparents out of their lives, it becomes total silence, no answers, uh, not even an offer of why it was done. And the silence can last for years. Some parents don't even get to reconcile with their child up through death. It happens. It happens a lot. So here we are, the age that we're at, and I'm looking at, well, will our son ever want to reconcile with us?
It's hard to understand why he would be so upset because you couldn't make 90-mile trip.
Yeah, I mean, a 90-mile trip, and you've got pets to take care of, and um, how do I make it back in time to take care of the pets? I can't just go away for hours knowing how long it takes to.
Yeah, you have to make arrangements. You have to,
Yes.
and a birth happens kind of like unplanned. It's sort of out of the, it's sort of, when basically, but not exactly.
He was induced, and when you induce labor, I went through it with our son, it can take any number of hours.
That's
And
right.
when you're 90 miles from home and it's in the evening, you don't know when you're going to get home, and you've got animals waiting for you.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
also, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a huge expectation, which I
very
would
much.
understand, if that was something that they were saying, this is it. Like we really need this, like, or it's going to be so painful, too painful to talk to you again, even. Like, I mean, of course, like putting things in kind of like a threatening way is not healthy, but I mean, I could imagine them saying, this is so important to me. Can you set up like for the next 5 days to be here? Like, we'll help you pay for this care for your animals or something. You know what I mean? Like some prep.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been good, but I mean, the power of communication is like it went away. They didn't want to communicate, and the thing is, when I looked at what was going on from before, when she had her first son, and I became friends with her ex-husband and her ex-mother-in-law, and when I got a feel for what they had experienced with that son being estranged for 10 years. Um, the the husband, when her and her husband divorced, they were married and divorced twice. And when they got divorced the second time, she cut off the relationship of her son from the grandmother and extended family. And like I said, that lasted a decade. The father was allowed to visit with the child, but only in the family home. He couldn't take the child anywhere, even though he did complete all the paperwork for necessary co-parenting. There were no orders telling him that he had to have supervised visitations. These were just strictly her rules. So the only way he could see that child would be to go and visit the house and be supervised.
Oh boy.
Even though, yeah,
Sounds like
Even
a
though that wasn't
severely
legal.
wounded
of course
person.
it was illegal.
Yeah. It sounds like
But
what, yeah, what'd you say, Jackie?
It sounds like it sounds like she's a severely wounded person.
I have no idea what she was severely wounded for. I just don't know. I have no idea. We got along beautifully with everybody. Things were going well. She became pregnant with our grandson, and everything just went downhill. And it was like from that side.
Did it stop while she was pregnant?
Yes. Yeah, it happened while she was, yeah, I could, where there was distance happening, little passive aggressive behaviors, some not so nice comments. So we gave her space. We gave them space. And then when she was going to be induced, which was a few months later, we got notified that she was being induced the next night or the next afternoon. In fact, the text message said, "This is your last chance."
Oh my goodness. That sounds exactly like Jackie said, sort of a threat. Yeah.
Yeah, everything becomes a threat. So I can only imagine what she's been putting our son through.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ours is not the only story like this. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I have come across with very similar stories, just different
That's
circumstances.
what's mind blowing. I mean, the fact that you have how many a million surrogate grandparents? Are
Yeah, it's
they
like 70 million. In fact, I think the number has even increased.
70 million?
How
Yeah.
were
Now,
you able to get to talk to others that are in this situation?
There are estrangement groups. There's support for alienated grandparents. There's support for parents who have lost their adult children to estrangement. Um, I find it just totally amazing that the norm now is becoming where people don't want to have that relationship with their extended family, and I don't get it.
Has it been trending more?
I think it has. You know what I'm finding out because I'm also hearing what these grandparents are saying. The adult children go for counseling, thinking that they had some trauma going on in their minds. Maybe they did have trauma, even though it was not trauma, but to them it was. And they tell these psychologists their side of the story. Well, the psychologists are only learning one side of the story, not both sides. So then they're recommending that these adult children cut off relationships with those family members.
oh my goodness.
And that's what's happening.
Wow. That is insane.
So
Yeah, I mean,
how can a psychologist recommend somebody walking away from their family when they're only hearing one side?
Yeah, that
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure, oh my gosh, therapists and psychologists, like they're just as vastly different and flawed as humans are, of course, in
Absolutely.
any profession, right? And I also know that certain people who want to hear things certain ways will get, like, let's say the psychologist doesn't say that, the person might choose to hear them saying that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're validated in themselves, but the psychologist didn't actually say that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. We're only going by what the adult children, if they are relaying this information, what they're stating. But they don't want to try and fix the relationship. They would much rather just walk away from it and totally pretend it never existed. You can't do that. That's
boy, oh
really,
boy.
really difficult. I mean, if there's toxic stuff going on among family members, by all means, you either deal with it or you separate. But 70 million grandparents are not all toxic.
Oh, no kidding.
right,
It-
right. Oh, and I even think like everyone has a potential to be toxic,
Oh,
like
yes.
and also like we all do have toxic traits, but like how are we ever going to be able to work through them and without self-reflection in the midst of others?
Yeah.
We need others.
Yep. Yeah.
that's
It's
that's what
it's
families are
become
for, actually, aren't they?
yeah, for turning to each other during times of need through the bad times. So who do you turn to if you have walked away from your entire family?
It's weird. It's weird. It's like a trending thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was in a therapy session today where we talked about family. Um, and I think that we were talking about how family is like people like just plopped together. Like you are related, but you are also very different than each other. And you wouldn't necessarily have chosen them in a room to be best friends with, but that is also what's great about it because you get to learn and accept differences
Hmm.
and um, become your own person
Right,
and be, but also be together.
right.
Um, but sometimes, like you are in a family group that is it's so hard to learn healthy communication styles. It's difficult. Maybe you just don't know what to do and you kind of leave.
I mean, I don't think there's any perfect family as far as
No, there's
functionality.
dysfunction in every single
That's
family.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Dysfunction is not something I think is a part of what life is for. I mean, you have your
Hmm.
family, you have your relationship in your family, and I feel like that's all those things that put it. I believe in the fact that, like, I love why we're doing Out of the Blue. I think people learn from things that are random, supposedly,
Hmm.
and that I don't know if they're random. To me, they're there for a reason. They're in your life for lessons to be learned for your soul.
Right.
And I think that, if you're born in the family and some of them you don't get along with, I mean, it's to learn a lesson. It's maybe
Hmm.
there's something about that you have to learn to overcome, to
Right.
bridge, to and make your soul kind of grow from it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what they're denying themselves. They're
And
not,
their and their children.
the
Um,
children are innocent. They don't even know that's happening.
Totally innocent. Yeah, the children have no idea what's going on. And I think what really bothers me the most about this is there are grandparents who have been pushed out of their grandchildren's lives and brought back in and pushed out again numerous times. That is where it becomes abuse. If you decide not to talk to somebody, that's not being abusive. But if you have them in your life, push them out, take them back, push them out, that's abuse.
It kind of is. Yeah. I mean,
Emotional abuse.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now we've covered, there's no laws saying grandparents have rights, which is a shame.
No, some states have some laws, but you have to be able to prove to the court that it's detrimental not to be in the child's life. Well, in
Okay,
our
okay.
case, we've never met our grandchild. How do I prove to the courts it's detrimental to his life?
Right.
Not so. Yeah, I mean, if you were really, I mean, there are grandparents who take care of the grandchildren, help raise them. Then these spouses, they get married to somebody else, and then suddenly they separate from the family and they take these kids away. And here the grandparents are left stranded going, well, I had these children in my life. I helped you. I did stuff for you. And now I can't see them.
Right.
For how many years I have really kept silent about what we experienced. The time for silence has got to go away. I need to be a voice. I need to become a face to help people understand what's going on with this.
So that's
Yeah,
your,
yeah.
yeah,
I had no idea this was this
yeah.
big and this common. I think it's so important for people to know that that many people deal with this,
Oh my
many
gosh.
grandparents.
Hmm. It's
Yeah.
worldwide, but the United States has the highest percentage out of all other countries of
What it,
estrangement.
Wow.
what is that
Interesting.
percentage? Do you know?
I did hear it was 27%. Now I heard that it's gone up to maybe 38%.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh
So
geez.
it's growing. Um, and I knew back when that it was going to be an impossibility for me to try and reach our son. It just no matter how many times I even called her, left messages after messages, begging for forgiveness. What can we do? Total silence, and it was deafening.
Well, I forgive you for not driving 90
Thank
miles
you.
that time. You've done I see what you're doing though is very, very inspiring because you're taking, well, an out of the blue event that you did not expect, and
Hmm.
your response to it is to be proactive
Yeah.
and to do something positive for
Hmm.
others maybe suffering from this as
Right.
well. And apparently, how many million? 70? You saying I
Over
forgot.
70 million now.
70 million others are having the same issue. I
Yeah,
mean,
in the United States.
this is crazy. I can't understand that. I mean, is it a product of the modern age of internet isolation, uh, or
I
something like
think
that?
it's a conglomeration of so many different things: social media, TV, radio, music,
Well, I want to blame
peer
music.
pressure.
I feel like blaming music hurts because I love music and I'm a musician, and so is Jackie. But we always think of music as something to bring people together. I mean, that's what it's
And
about.
it does.
Maybe, yeah,
But
no, maybe also like just how many things we can distract ourselves with, so, to the point where we're so impressionable because how are we cultivating our own personality? I mean, if we're so distracted and we're filling ourselves with so much, outside of us.
and you're going after the certain content that's obviously making you feel fine about the estrangement. Like, I don't
Yeah,
need to feel that feeling because I'm able to go on my phone and
right.
scroll, and then the phone's going to put everything there that they know you like. So you
Yep,
live in a sort of bubble
yep.
where everything's good. Yeah, but years are going by and the pain, scars are forming, deep
Oh
scar.
yeah, yeah. In fact, what these adult parents are doing now, they're teaching their children to do the same thing that they're doing. So they're at
Oh my
risk
goodness, yeah.
of those children as adults estranging themselves from those parents.
I've heard it in my own personal life. I've heard of this happening, and it's always seems like they're not aware, and like the guy or the girl, whoever it's that leaves connection with their parents and their family is really just focused on making that relationship work so much so that they lose any really necessity to have a family.
Yeah,
They just they're just so codependent. They're so
yeah,
fixated of this person not stopping the way they feel for them. They want to control it. They want to. It's like they need. They're really codependence is what it is. And
yeah,
in a narcissistic situation,
yeah,
codependency must be an easy fix for the person when they're in it. When
yeah.
you're married to a narcissistic person. I don't know if we can do anything about those people at this point. I mean, we can pray for them. We can, hopefully, some who are listening to this podcast will see that they're wasting all the love they could be getting for silly reasons that have nothing to do with actual reality. Because you cannot, you can't cut off from relationships that are put in your life for to do good with you, and I expect that to turn out well. I mean,
Right.
to me, it seems a little bit skewed in the thinking
Just a
department.
touch.
You know,
And also just how powerful your love is enough to like make a huge um situation out of it, like all of the people you've gathered together, the awareness that you're spreading, like that is such a massive amount of love that will reach your grandchildren. It just will. And there's nothing that she can do about that. Like you can't stop love.
yeah, someday those kids are going to hear about this.
Oh yeah, I will be out there. I mean, I'm on social media now. If you look back at the like history of my group, all the different links you can bring up, I've been in. We've been in existence since January 2015, and so many people have been happy with the group. A lot of people have found their success stories, found their surrogate families, and they've reached out to publications and submitted articles that they've written about themselves.
So let's get to that. The joy of how that began, and tell me some success stories. I'd love to hear some.
Okay, well, what happened was when I first got the idea of the group, it was like right after the estrangement happened. I wanted to do something. I felt I just needed to have something to do. I didn't like floating aimlessly. So I started searching the internet and looking for things. And I did find a group called Surrogate Grandparents for the UK. And at the same time, I also volunteered to cuddle babies in the NICU at our local women's and children hospital. Did that for a number of months, one night a week. And I have to relate this story. I used to talk to the babies that I was cuddling about their guardian angels who were watching over them. And I can't tell you how many times when I would be talking to these babies, cuddling them, and during their whole traumatic, whatever they were going through with the withdrawals, they would actually open their eyes and smile like they saw something.
Oh,
How
beautiful.
could I question that?
How beautiful. Oh my goodness.
It's so
So
beautiful. I'm like crying right now.
Yeah, that
it
is
really
something.
brought light, a lot of light to a very dark time for me. It was
Yeah.
a wonderful thing to do. It was an amazing thing to do to watch these little souls go through drug addiction withdrawals, knowing the medicines they were on to get over the withdrawals, and then have to be taken off the medicines to get rid of that withdrawal before they could even join their family or whatever had to be done. So, um, if anybody ever wants to look into cuddling babies, I highly recommend it.
Wow. This is still a thing people do, right? That's yeah.
I do believe we moved away from the area, so and I don't think there's anything in this area that I can do. I'm in an area with a lot of retirees,
Yeah, but
so there's
not
not
a
many babies being born.
not a lot of babies being born. I get that. Yeah.
There are, but not many. So I was doing that, and then I decided after being in the UK group that, and there was nothing in the United States that I could find that was similar to the surrogate grandparent group. There was one group on the internet, but they became so lawyered up that they finally had to disband the whole thing because too many lawyers were getting involved, too many contracts, too much liability, because they were trying to cover the entire country. I worked for attorneys for many, many years, so I talked to some about this, and I put together a liability waiver. And as I was creating the group, saying I can do what the surrogate grandparent group is doing, I can do something for the USA, and that's what I started. And a little bit of trial and error, but it has continued to grow. I started out with maybe 30 members June of 2015. I mean, I'm now up to almost 14,000 members nationwide, some worldwide.
That's amazing. And those members now, how do people get in touch and find out if they want one?
Okay, well, we do have documents that provide guidelines in the group. So when they join the group, they receive a welcome post. And in this welcome post, we have what's called um, an important link document, which gives everybody in the group all the links necessary to navigate the group page. So we have links for every state in the United States. We have links for each of our lists, one for grandparents seeking connections, one for parents seeking, families seeking connections, and all sorts of links to help them get on this track of joining the group and participating and finding somebody. I can't help them find anybody because of liability issues. I can't introduce anybody to anybody because of liability issues.
So how do they
Um,
find them? How do they get to ones they
well, the list of grandparents seeking connections and the list of families seeking connections are listed on the list per state, city, county, region where they live. So if you're a grandparent interested in a family in your area, you go to the list of families seeking connections, and you look in the state you live and the area where you live, or whatever area they
Yeah,
live.
you don't want to take a plane. You need to,
No. So then you can reach out to the people by finding their profile on the page through the members. Send them a message going, I'm messaging you for a potential connection to see if we can make it work. And at the same time, they also should post something on the group page tagging that person saying, I've sent you a message for a possible connection. Please check your messages. And if they need help tagging someone, we can help because that way the person will receive notification that there's a message for them and
right.
it'll
And
make them
also
go,
there's there's a public kind of like it's good that it's public, that everyone can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a private group, meaning that anybody not in the group can't see what's going on in the group, but it is public to everybody in the group.
So what are the um, requirements to become a part of that group?
Well, there's really no requirements. I mean, you just had to be a nice human being. I can't guarantee that,
No,
but
you're talking about the group of people that are offering their services, right?
oh, well, I mean, it's not really requirements. It's basically you're looking for somebody that you can connect with, that you maybe you think alike, kind of. You have things in common. You get to know them, and don't do it like don't rush into it, because it's a time. When you're making a friend, it's a time-consuming effort.
It takes effort too. It does take effort.
So you're becoming friends with these people. I mean, I don't think anybody should expect to meet with the children of the parents that they're meeting with right away. Um, Let it take time. Get to know each other. Even meet if you can without the children. Find out about each other. It is suggested that background checks are done. There's ways of getting background checks in the state you live. It's very reasonably easy, and it's not real expensive. Um, but use your gut instincts, use your smarts, and if something doesn't feel right with the connection you're making, don't carry it through.
Yeah, I definitely know um, friends in New York City that have a child, and they're always saying, "Oh, it would be so nice if either of our parents lived nearby." So even though they're still in contact with their parents, would they be allowed on this
Sure. Yeah,
connection site? Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we do have grandparents on there that do have their grandchildren in their lives, and they have extra room for more grandchildren that need it. um, yeah, so all sorts of different connections are being made. It's not only grandparents and grandchildren now. It's it's surrogate aunts, surrogate siblings. It's turned into a phenomenal community of people just connecting with each other and seeing if something works. And even if it's a long distance relationship, it has worked for people.
It reminds me of the Big Brother organization.
Kind
Remember?
of.
It sort of does because it was like something if you had a son or a daughter and you want they would get you a big brother, and that
Hmm.
big brother would come and take them to a ball game, go play catch with them or something.
Right.
And it was something that was highly encouraged in where I grew up
Hmm.
for a lot of children. Um, I knew people that got a big brother. I mean, I think I was kind of jealous. I thought it was sounded good. Yeah, this extra brother coming by, but I didn't look into it and notice that they really needed that because maybe they didn't
Right.
have. I had plenty of uncles, maybe too many
Hmm.
uncles. But I no, I love my uncles, no question about it. But this is in this day and age, though, family is so important. I think
Yep.
we need to have these families stronger, and
Yep.
anything that weakens the family, I think, is an anathema to
Right.
the world's
There's a lot of
civilization.
fractured families out there.
Enough. There is enough of those already,
Yes.
right?
Right. And we also have opened up to people who have aged out of the foster care system.
Oh, I see. That's
A
yeah.
lot of these people, when they age out of the foster care, they're just young adults, and they're just set out in the world like, okay, good luck to you.
Oh my goodness, right. I see
Yeah. I
that.
mean, there are resources that kind of help these people, but I did an interview once for the podcast, The Aging Out of Community, and we have gotten some people who have aged out of the foster care looking for connections.
Let's make sure that people hear that if you're listening and you're an aging out foster child. I knew a
Hmm.
few. I grew up in a foster home in my neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
I knew all the guys and girls there, and boy, oh boy, I want some of them might even be listening to this podcast. I mean, seriously.
All my best to them. I'm just thinking what amazing courage and sense of self to have at such a young age. I mean, even yeah, I mean, I grew up in my family's house with my parents there until 18, you know, and even further than that, occasionally living there. So just thinking like at 15 or 18, when I don't know when foster children leave
I
houses.
believe is when they turn 18, that's when
Eight.
they've aged out.
Okay. So just thinking, okay, like where's my family from here? That's along with college and just making it in life, like having to also find that place where family could exist. That's a that's an amazing task. That's a big task
Yeah.
for a
Mm-hmm.
child
Yeah.
still to take on.
One of the things I really, really love about this surrogate parents thing is it takes the meaning of family. It doesn't have to be blood related. It's about care. It's about selflessness. It's about
Mm-hmm.
giving and support and being there for someone. I mean, why does it have to go by the only the blood? So the blood people are messed up and they're going through stuff and they don't want to have it. Well, there's another solution. There are other people out there that are willing to give and love and
They
support.
are.
You know,
They are.
I find
It's just
that to
that
be so
there's
wonderful.
never been a manual written for this,
No,
so it's
no,
been a trial and error.
well, that's like life. There's no manual for life either.
Yeah, no manual raising kids either.
Oh no, they don't give you one. When the baby comes out of the birth chamber, I was there for all my children. No manual popped out after that. It was just now you're on your own. And boy, oh boy, it's a learning experience, and it's a
Yeah,
wonderful experience. And I don't think I would trade those moments for anything in my life. There were my family means nothing more than the world to me, and I so love what you're doing. I think family is a word like church. Is church a structure? Can you only worship your higher power in that particular building? But
no,
isn't
absolutely not.
anywhere you want it to be? It's where you
Absolutely.
are standing. That can be church.
Hmm.
So what's the difference? Family can be where you find it. And if you can find it at the surrogate grandparents, oh my God, what a miracle. What a blessing. So tell me you have any success stories? We're getting near the end and I
Yeah,
want, I
I
know,
can,
I want to leave our audience with a really big, warm heart from how wonderful
I
this
can
is.
share a couple of success stories with you.
That would be so good to hear.
I've been given permission to do this because we've left out their last names and I'm not sharing any pictures. I mean, it's a private thing. But the first one I'm going to talk to you about, let's say Kristen and Josh. And Kristen and Josh live in Troop, a small town near Tyler, Texas, with 3 children. Cambry 17, Kaisley 13, and Cash 9. They're a busy, close-knit family whose kids are involved in all kinds of sports and activities. They also have an older son in college who's married. Deborah and Lloyd. My husband Lloyd and I live in Huntsville, Texas, about 140 miles south of Kristen, Josh, and their family, roughly a 2.5-hour drive. Thankfully, the route is scenic and rarely congested. For perspective, it can take us 2 hours to reach the far end of Houston, a far less pleasant and much more stressful drive. Lloyd has a demanding career as a bank executive while I work for free at home, as I like to say that with a laugh. How it began. Kristen joined Surrogate Grandparents in 2018, 6 years before we met in August 2024. So I had joined in 2019, so we were both long-term members. Her kids had grown up a lot during that time, from being young children to teenagers, but she still felt that adding a grandfriend, a term she used and I loved, would enrich all of their lives. Neither of us was seeking a long-distance connection. In fact, in my introduction post in August 2024, on the Surrogate Grandparent site, I mentioned that I hope to find a family within about an hour's drive so we could spend frequent in-person time together. Lloyd and I had recently moved to Huntsville. Kristen happened to see my post, sent me a private message saying, "You all sound perfect. Sure wish we were closer so we could connect." That simple message sparked something. We began texting, two strangers getting to know one another, sharing about our lives, our hopes, our disappointments, and the family gaps we both felt. Soon after, we decided to meet halfway at a Denny's in Palestine, Texas. We spent 3 hours talking openly and deeply, and by the time we hugged goodbye, we both felt an unmistakable connection and excitement about what could grow from there. Building the bond. Fast forward 14 months, and what a wonderful journey it's been. We meet as often as possible, sometimes every 6 weeks or so, sometimes more often. We've shared kids' sporting events, Halloween trick-or-treating, Christmas lights at Lone Star Lights Park, visits to the Tyler Zoo and Huntsville State Park, shopping trips, mini golf, arcades, and numerous other activities, along with many shared meals filled with easy flowing conversation and laughter. This past summer, I was delighted to spend a week of one-on-one time with Cash. It was an absolute joy. Our family bond continues to grow stronger with each visit. We stay in touch, get-togethers with text, photos, and updates about daily life, staying connected in the most important ways that matter. Our surrogate grandparent connection feels strong and enduring. We're both so grateful that we took the chance to reach beyond our original expectations and ignore the distance barrier. What we built is truly unique, a relationship that has bloomed with love, smiles, and shared purpose. If either of us had clung to our original ideal of finding someone close by, we would have missed out on this beautiful opportunity that has brought so much happiness and bonus family into both our lives. We were simply two women, a generation apart in age and 140 miles apart in distance, willing to create space for something new and meaningful to enter our worlds. That openness and a bit of courage sparked a relationship that has become a special blessing, one that we envision lasting forever. People often have no control over the family voids that appear in their lives, but being open to outside-the-box solutions can be like turning on a light in a dim room. A heartfelt thank to you, Donna, and Surrogate Grandparents USA for being such an incredible resource, a guiding light of those of us who need it most. You have truly been a lighthouse for hearts looking for a home.
That's beautiful. For hearts looking for a home.
Yeah.
Really. It's so beautiful.
What else is there with life?
Okay.
I don't know what.
You want to hear another one?
One more time. Yeah.
Okay, one more. Okay. Kathy and Greg / Dennis and Karis. I, Kathy, joined the group in June 2016 and spent the first couple months getting a feel for the community and reviewing the list of people seeking grandparents. At the time, I was expecting 3 new granddaughters within a month, which would bring my total to 7 beautiful granddaughters. Even before joining, I had been looking for a way to be a mom or grandma figure to someone who needed that kind of relationship. Around that same time, I came across Denny, a mom who had also joined the group in June 2016. It wasn't until August 6th that I reached out to her. She responded a few days later, and we began chatting through Messenger. At first, I worried I might be coming on too strong, but with patience and time, we got to know each other and formed a genuine connection. After about 3 months, we met in person for the first time, November 2016, at our local shopping mall's play center. The visit went wonderfully, and just a few weeks later, on December 4th, I was invited to Denny's home to spend one-on-one time with Karis. What a little love she was. Our youngest daughter and her 4 children have fully embraced Denny and Karis as part of the family. We've shared many holidays together, and the girls are always included in birthday parties, sleepovers at Nana and Pop's, and other special events. Our eldest daughter, however, has chosen not to participate in the 9 years since Denny and Karis became part of our lives. She, her husband, and their children have never met them and have no plans to, but we make it work. Denny and Karis celebrated their first Christmas with my husband and me, along with our youngest daughter and her family, in December 2016. We began 2017 with regular visits, and in February I got to babysit Karis for the first time at her house, just for a few hours, but it went beautifully. Each year since has brought something new, as life always does, but we remain close and continue to spend quality time together whenever we can. Denny and Karis are truly part of our family. We feel deeply honored to be part of the chosen family Denny has built for herself and her daughter. Our surrogacy journey has been nothing short of amazing, and we look forward to many more years of watching Karis grow and sharing life's milestones together.
Well, what beautiful. I loved what jumped out at me was my chosen family. That's something very beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
choosing your family. I mean, wow.
Yeah. I can't tell you, every time I hear a success story posted on the page, what it does to my heart.
I can imagine. I can
Yeah.
imagine. But that's it. That you have to do it to feel it. So if you are out there listening, and you need a surrogate parent, grandparent, and you're a person who's a surrogate, want to be a surrogate parent, you've got to reach out to the Surrogate Parents Grandparents US, and there'll be a link at the end of this podcast. So let's leave it at that. Donna, can you just say one thing to say goodbye to everybody? What would you say to leave people with?
Uh, just love each other, be kind to each other. It doesn't take that much. You know,
That's beautiful. That's enough to right
that's what
there.
we need.
Yep. Thank you so much, Donna, for joining us today on Out of the Blue. It has been
Thank,
an inspiration, powerful one. And
thank you so much.
you're very, very, very welcome. And
I deeply appreciate this. Thank you again.
Jackie, thank you, Jackie, as well.
Thank you, Jackie.
Oh,
And
thank you.
and you know, we're a kind of family too. So you are
Right.
in the Out of the Blue family. So
I'm glad. I
what
feel very welcome.
you're all welcome. Believe me, we're proud to have you. And anyway, thank you so much for listening to Out of the Blue. Please like and follow and spread this unbelievably positive word out there to help as many people as we can with this kind of stuff. And
And
thank you
you can
so
follow the Facebook group if this is something that resonates with you. Apply to follow. Is that what it is?
Well, if they want to, they can request to join, answer a couple of quick questions. They don't have to participate. There's no rules. They can participate when they feel comfortable. They may just want to be in the group to watch what goes on in the group because it's all connections. There's no drama. There's no negativity. It's all positive stuff.
And it's
beautiful.
called Surrogate Grandparents USA.
Yes, Surrogate Grandparents USA.
Once
Thank
again,
you.
love you guys out there for listening and love you, Donna. You're in the
Love you.
family. Welcome to the family and
Thank you.
glad to have
Thank you
you.
so much.
You're very welcome. Have a wonderful day. And
You too.
you everybody out there, thanks for listening. Out of the Blue, the podcast, hosted by me, Vernon West, co-hosted by Jacqueline West, edited by Joe Gallo, music and logo by Vernon West III. Have an Out of the Blue story of your own you'd like to share? Reach us at info@outoftheblue-thepodcast.org. Subscribe to Out of the Blue on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and on our website, outoftheblue-thepodcast.org. You can also check us out on Patreon for exclusive content.